Assuming that you are someone chasing a dream, you are on the path of personal development, you're looking to reach your full capability in mind, body, and spirit, you have to have a process because this journey is long and at times chaotic, and it's easy to get lost along the way. There's a lot of uncertainty and a bunch of other things. But your process is what will keep you grounded. Now, my process may be different from yours, but that doesn't mean either one of us is doing it better. I think a lot of people through social media think that I have like this crazy regimen, or I'm doing something secret behind the scenes that makes me the way I am, but I'm no different from you. I've just mastered the basics. I make sure that each and every day I'm prioritizing my health. I make sure that I'm exercising. I make sure that I'm staying hydrated. I make sure that I'm learning something new every day. I make sure that I'm working on my craft. You don't have to do anything crazy or complex. You don't have to find the secret. You don't have to find the missing piece of the puzzle. It's all right there. It's all right in front of you. You have to have faith in that if you just master the basics and make sure you're going through the motions each day, you'll get to where you want to go. But many of us are in a perpetual state of distraction. We're too caught up in our phones or what's going on social media, or especially recently, politics. As you know, the 2024 presidential election just occurred. And look, this is understandable. We live in a digital world. I'm not like one of those people that's like, throw away your phone and go off grid, okay? Don't get me wrong. I still use my phone. I still go on YouTube. I still do these things, but I make sure that my priorities are straight. I make sure that I'm prioritizing myself over these other things. And that's where I really think you find balance, which is another crucial thing when it comes to being consistent and having a process, a regimen that is sustainable and has longevity. A lot of social media content nowadays tells you that you have to wake up at 4 a.m. You have to do the cold plunge first thing in the morning. You have to do the 5-mile run. And while these things are good, they're not mandatory. And they're also not for everyone, which this content paints this illusory picture that it is, but it's not. And what ends up happening is you, as someone who is wanting to do better for themselves, sees this regimen, right, and think that this is your ticket out. This is the way that it has to be in order for you to improve. And maybe you can keep up with it for a few days, or maybe even a week, or maybe even a month. But eventually you burn out, and then you're left wondering what's wrong with you. Why can't I be consistent? Why do I lack the discipline? Why do I keep going back to my old ways? It's like you're trying to cram someone else's lifestyle into your own soul, your own way of life. You operate differently. You know, you're wired differently. So it probably will not work for you. Some people, yeah, but maybe you don't wake up at 4 a.m. Maybe you wake up at 7 a.m. Maybe you wake up at 9 a.m. I don't know. Maybe you're a night owl, okay, and you work till 3 a.m. and that's when you're most productive. I don't really care. I think as long as you're doing the things that you need to do on a daily basis, whatever way that works for you, that's your process. And this is something that took me forever to learn. Forever. And once I did learn it, I began to fall in love with the process. And that is the key. That's the thing that many of us are missing. When you learn to fall in love with the process, the very process that if you keep treating well, will eventually get you to where you want to go. That's the game. Oftentimes, at its core, that's the very thing that causes us this distress in our lives. We don't love our process. So that was a huge thing for me. But that only came when I realized that not everyone else's daily regimen is going to work for me. I have to develop my own. I have to go at my own pace. You know, and that's what enables me to show up every single day and do what I need to do. and get 1% better every single day. And that's the very reason I've been able to transform my life so quickly. You know, my life has been so unbelievably hectic and crazy, and I've gone from my absolute lowest to where I am now, which is not the end for me, obviously. Like, I have so much more to do. I have so much more to give, but I've made some pretty good progress, you know, and that doesn't happen for no reason. That happened because I learned to love my process. To be exceptional in this world, you don't need to do that much. You know, I think people paralyze themselves and they overwhelm themselves thinking about all the things that they're not doing, but it's just preventing you from doing the basics. These very, very simple things. I'm a firm believer that if you do just these 6 things every single day, you can have whatever you want in this world. And they are meditate, pray, read, exercise, work on your personal craft or venture, and drink a gallon of water every day. I think if you do those things every day, it doesn't really matter where you want to go in life, you'll get there. Because when you show up for yourself, and you prioritize your health, and you work on your craft, and you're expanding your knowledge base and your skill set, you'll just naturally fall down the right path. I fully believe that. I know it because that's what happened to me. So, yeah, just do what works for you. Find your process. And once you find it, life starts to get really fun. I don't know if fun's the right word, but it certainly gets better. I'll tell you that. It gets more immersive and poetic. And I guess you start to fall in love with life itself. All while you're marching towards your most ambitious goals, and along the way meeting amazing people and experiencing everything that life has to offer, you know? So, yeah, find your process and learn to love it.